Howdy YouTube, we are back. You have been building Imperialdramon wrong. We got a man to tell you why and how. How did your run go?
So I got 66th today, so I bubbled out a top 64 with Imperial, so I was 4 wins, 3 losses. I was the highest place in Imperial, purely on tiebreakers, but that's a technicality. So welcome to the fair deck profile. It's fair, it's tier 3, but that's what Reddit wants you to believe. Let's get into the profile. So for eggs, we started with Demi Veemon. So a lot of people in testing were asking me, Liam, you've got the nice ulti cup BT3 demis, why are you playing these? This card is insane, bro. So anyone who hasn't read it, it's if you have a green in play, draw 1 card. This deck is now, as much as I don't like it, I'm a blue player at heart, this is a green deck. And this just triggers more often with the cards that we're playing, and you'll see some of the choices as we go through. So for the rookies, we're playing 4 of the Veemon. So this is the one, it searches Freeze, Imperials, and Davis. So obviously it searches things like our Memory Setter, it searches our BT12 Davis, which is like the big combo piece. His counterpart, we've got 4 of the Wormmon. So this has the exact same effect as the Veemon, but it searches for Ken instead of Davis. So that includes our Daiken, and also our Spicy Technology, which we'll get onto later. Both of these have end of turn inherits, so even if we pass turn with our level 4s, we can still make level 5s, and you'll see why that's important as we get on to the rest of the profile. For the rest of the rookies, we've got 3 of the starter deck Wormmon, and this was another one that people were questioning, not in a bad way, but just, you know, why this old card that, you know, is very harmless and innocent. Bro, he's 3k, he's been working out, he goes dummy thick, and he kills rookies like nobody's business. And he combos with a card, a super secret card we'll get onto later. So that was 11 so far. The 12th rookie I played was just a one-off Madoki. So this was just a meta call for the day. We expected to see a lot of BLs, which we didn't, which is kind of the biggest thing for Madoki. I got a couple Greymon players with this though, caught them sleeping. And generally this deck and the build, as you'll see, it needs actions that it can take to pass turn when you're not ready to go, when you're building him back. And Madoki is a pretty damn good one, and as well one of, it did fine today. Also, there's another synergy that we'll get to later on. Moving on to our level 4, so I only played 10, which seems crazy because for a lifetime I was begging for more XVs and Stings, and we got them, and they're so good, I actually play 4 of the new ones. So we play 4 of the BT12 XV and 4 of the Stingmon. Has anybody actually read these cards? Bro, they gain memory. Who allowed this? These cards are insane. Also, the inheritables are good. This is jamming, this is piercing. To round off the 4s, we play 1 of the old ones. Honestly, these cards are my beloved. They've seen me through the good times and the bad, but they just don't compare to the standard of these cards. If you're playing an aggro list, sure, play this. Like I said, we had a big read on BLs for this competition, even post-limit. And if you are playing an aggro list and you check security with this and it dies to a Slinger or a Barrage, your game is over. So we play for a value list with these and we gain memory. You'll see why later on. I'm going to say that a lot during this. On to our level 5s. So we play 3 of the BT12 Imperialdramon and 4 of the BT12 Dino Veemon. Again, did anybody actually read these cards? Bro, they're insane. This strips sources and freezes, so it's a good stall tool. It strips away Greymon's protections. It strips away Machine's protections. You are not safe. Welcome Imperialdramon to your home. And Dino Veemon is a combo piece, and it also allows us to safely check security with the burn effect, which comes up more than you would think, and it allows us to play like a safe control mid-range game, which the deck's never had before. It's always been very one-dimensional aggro, which I'm a fan of, by the way. But this, it just feels more teched, and I felt a lot more comfortable, even though we got the meta wrong, and with the lack of BLs, aggro would have been fine. I'm happy with the list I took, and I wouldn't change it. These cards are insane. Please don't sleep on them. Started that good, but don't sleep on these. And so we go on to the glue that keeps the deck together. So we play 3 of the Dragon mode. So oh my god, I love the BT12 Dragon mode. It's so good. But this card funny. So the main combo of this deck is to use the 2 of these. And what we do, we use these and a 5. Let's use Dino B because he's a good boy, and he's that's why we play 4 of him. So we make our DNAs with like this, and we use the Dragon mode to pull. So obviously these two gain the memory with the DNA. So we pull these out, and then we DNA again to gain another 2 memory, and we use it as like a loop system and a resource system that helps us build wide boards. And obviously the more Dragon modes you have, the more memory you print in this economy. Crazy. But how are you going to find your 3 of card, I wonder? Well, what if you only needed to find 1? This card, oh my god. Bro, they added a Gigadeath in Archetype. Well, it is Archetype, but on my body, like, that's insane, bro. So this card, for anyone who doesn't know, it suspends everything with no sources. And then I can either bounce something with no sources to your hand, or I can bounce a Dragon mode from the source to my hand to Nidhogg the entire board, but like all your suspended Digimon. But it's so important because we get the Dragon mode back to hand, so even if we only have 1 of this, we can still go on with our combos and still continue to print memory. Also, somebody told me this card's good, so we used it to staple the deck together. It won me, so as I was playing through the day, I felt like I wasn't seeing Quartz enough, and then it soloed a game against Hunters for me, and I was like, yep, this is why I played Quartz. I think he didn't really know what I did. It was a bit of a knowledge check, and we ended up in like a double Quartz situation where we were locking each other's Quartzes, and I think he just removed the wrong thing. Like, I think I had lethal anyway, but he chose not to remove my Quartz, and then I ended up DNAing and killing him anyway, so it worked out fine. Card's good, who'd have thought?
Do you want to talk about like why the Quartz interacts well with your whole deck?
So, I mean, we'll get back onto this with like one of the options in particular, but just being able to like make a wide board with the Dragon mode and just being able to make this cheap and like use it to choke, because quite often I would be like molding my like lines to like pass as little memory on this as possible, or like play to a memory setter if they like had a Tageru or a Tai or something like that. We use this to like sculpt lines, and we only have to pull out with this as much as we want. Like, as soon as we have like enough material, we can stop, and if they're under Quartz, we just go next turn, and then we make a new DNA, we gain more memory, and we come in and active, so we still get to attack and use all our effects. So yeah, this also has a really dummy combo with something we'll get onto later, the Secret Sauce. So we'll just go into the Tamers. I am playing a lot of Tamers. It's like All Force, but it's cool. So I'm playing 3 of the BT12 Davis. So this card, at the start of the main phase, I get a memory if I have a free or a Ken. I play 3 Kens, so that always helps. The other effect is when I attack with a blue-green Digimon, I can suspend it to evolve into an Imperialdramon for cost. So with one of the combos that we do with the Dino B is if we have the 4s, I really should have left these out, but what's 4 segment? So if we have like a stack with these and the Dino B, so we do the Dino B effect, so we suspend their guy and we attack over, even if it's their turn, so say it's on 1 memory right now, I can suspend the Davis to Evo into the Dragon mode for 4, Dragon mode will pop out these guys, but the attack still resolves, so I'm burning the security with the Dino B, but I'm not piercing, so this was like my way of getting around things like Slinger and Rivals, as well as not popping any Tamers and Tamer decks. And you know what? It came up a lot. Like, it won me a game against D-Reaper Security Control today. So it's really good. And also just the memory gain itself, just passively over the game, you get like anywhere between like 5 to 10 memory, depending how early you get this down. Also, like, having this, if they check a Daiken, that's like, they've just given you free value. The stonks, brother. Okay, so more Davises. We played 2 of the memory set. Card's good, it's been good since BT3. Search for a blue and a green, my entire deck's blue and green, cool. We play 2 Daiken. So Daiken is kind of like the best passive memory gain effect. As we get 2 if we have like 5s on board. And then obviously if we double up with these, which happened quite a lot today, like I was starting turns with like 9 memory, like a lot of the time, which is one of the big things of how we get going in the deck. Card's really good. Also, I give Harry PTSD when he sees this in security because he knows he's gonna die. Some of the secret sauce. So I'm playing 1 Ken. So Ken's is cool. Ken needs love. He's searchable by Veemon. That's cool. He's a memory setter. I've always liked 3 memory setters in this deck. We tried like 4, but also like 3 Davis felt cloggy. And with another synergy that we'll get onto in the options, this lineup just felt really good. And Ken gave me probably about 3 memory today, but for a one-off, that's fine. He didn't come up with intended combo, but that happens. One of my other tech slots along with Madoki for the event was Digimon Emperor. So in theory, it's good against BLs, which is what we were expecting. Didn't quite happen that way. All turns when a 5 or lower, or your opponent's 5 or lower dies, you can spend it to draw a card. And then when they raise a level 3, they lose 2 memory. So it's kind of to stop the warp imp. But also it can choke hunters sometimes if they don't have the Tageru set up. I would cut this in hindsight. If there was more BLs, it would have been fine. I just didn't see it enough, and a lot of the time I was just bottom decking it off a search. If only it was called Ken. It's Ken, bro. Okay, so on to options. So we're playing the one of Hammer Spark. This is kind of like the 50th card at this point. Also, shout out to Terry for giving me the alt. Card's good, yep, check it in security, very nice. We play the 1 HPD because Lamau. Also in the combo, like this makes a free dragon mode, so this is basically +2 memory provided you have the 6 and the next 5 in hand. Card's good. I sacked so many people. There was the Black War Grey player that I beat round 2. I top decked my combo looked great, and I top decked HPD and I went, I am not going to hold you, king, I have just high rolled you. Unlucky. And then, oh, the secret sauce. We're on 2 Spike and Strike. Has anybody read Spike and Strike? Bro, card's insane. So, the main effect, on deletion, one of your Digimon gains on deletion. Oh, sorry. Until the end of your turn, one of your Digimon gains on deletion, trash the top card of your security. Then, if I have a blue in play, I get to play a level 4 or lower green card without paying the cost. So, why this is great, I've already shown you the Dino B combo for burning security that we did earlier. But with the other pieces, so this is why we play Ken as well. So with like a Daiken or a Ken, if we like raise the level 4, for 3 memory, we Spike and Strike. I'll move this one alone. We Spike and Strike, so something gets the debuff, and then we play this for free, so it costs 3. We then DNA. This gains 2 memory, and then we go into the Dino B. The Dino B collaterals whatever it sniped, and then we use the Ken to gain the memory. So Spike and Strike became a free memory trash. And if you have the Davis as well, which, as I said, this deck passes a lot before it's ready to go. It wants you to go first, it wants you to play its board, and it wants you to welcome the level 5s into your home. With the Davis, let me just find the Dragon mode real quick. Oh, this one. So we do this, and then we pull the guys out like we've done earlier. You've burned 2 security, and like that's put a lot of pressure on you. You've had no Tamers, no options. Card's actually insane. So what I'm gonna do a little bit of a combo guide. It's not gonna be super in depth, but it's kind of the lines that you can make. Don't worry, Andrew, it's not gonna be very long. Let me just find my memory marker. So obviously you're not gonna have the luxury of having this like lineup all the time, but kind of between like the 3 and 4 memory mark is like very doable. With the Imperialdramon, the inheritable, which I haven't mentioned, at the end of attack, if it's Imperial, you just gain a memory. So this like saves a memory sometimes in the combo. You also have like the Hammer Sparks and like just the generic like passive memory game.
It's not once per turn either, is it?
No, it is not once per turn. Who allowed this? Bro. Okay. Fair deck, tier 3 deck. Reddit told you. So let's say this is our stack. So here we're going to like 3 memory, and then at the start of the main phase we promote. We're gonna get 2 memory off here, and then what we do, if we can like swing over a guy, it's fine, we'll do it. But it's not like super necessary. So we drop this one for 4, and then we DNA. So both of these will gain a memory. So you back up to 3, and then usually the one that you want the most is Dino Veemon, which is the coolest one. And then you can do the effect, so you can swing, and then use the Davis effect to go into the Dragon mode. You can Daiken to unsuspend, so this costs 4, and then use this effect to pull out the XV and the Sting. And then this is going to burn a security because you've took away the person, so you're not going to run into an option or a tamer that you don't want to see. So it's free damage in this economy. What? Bro, it's insane, honestly. And the more memory you have, so for an extra memory, let's say if I had like a green in play already, or I had like a second Davis, I just go into like a second level 5. These are not once per turn either, so you gain another 2 memory, and you go into the Imperialdramon or the second Dino Veemon or whatever it is you like. And then this is the sort of combos where I build the biggest board I can. Also, if I HPD you, you're just getting another dragon mode to the draw, my guy. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. It's filthy. So we go here for 0 and we pull these out, and then we DNA again and we gain another 2 memory. And I think you get the point by now. And then when the board is big enough, that is when we drop the quartz on top. And then this is how I'm controlling your memory. And yeah, it's insane. It makes so many like lethal pushes. It's an absolute like bananas combo deck that when it pops off, admittedly, it doesn't pop off all the time. It's Imperial, it's fair, it's tier 3. It's mediocre mid-range. Like sometimes you just don't have it like that. When you do have it like that, it's really fun. And I would really check it out. This is my pet deck and I'm very passionate about it, and I don't think like anybody like has cooked it as much as I have. And I think there was aggro lists that did well. Like I said, there was a guy who was he was the same score as me, but he was just a bit lower on his tiebreakers. But honestly, for me to come to this event with Imperial, which is a deck that nobody considers, and get a bubble the top 64 finish, I'm so proud of what I've achieved and everything that's gone into this deck. A brief like description of my matchups. So round 1, my opponent got DQ'd.
Yeah, you got Elo assassinated and still bubbled by like 2.
Yeah, so my guy got DQ'd because he didn't have the right cards for his deck list. He left his Grandis deck at home. He wanted to play Grandis, and he left it at home. So he got DQ'd, so that killed my resistance already. Round 2, I was against a Blackwall player, and I kind of just knowledge checked him. There was a game where like my friends had finished their games, and I was just going into time, and they saw me rip a Sting off the top with a V-Search 4 game. I just played down his board, he had nothing in Raisin, and everybody was popping off. It was a great time. The 3 rounds in the middle there were kind of scuffed, so I played against the machine player. He was a really nice guy. Game 1, I was like a 5 away from winning. Also, he top decked a blocker inherit from his BT12 machine after I outed 2 machines, which was cool. Very cool, but a Dino B like won me that game. And then game 2, over the course of 3 turns, I saw all 7 of my level 5s and like 2 level 4s. So like that was just unplayable. I then lost to a Blackwall player who, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember much about that game. Oh, no, that was the game I threw, so I
watched you throw that.
Yeah, I basically went into fighter mode trying to push more damage, but ended up like bouncing the wrong thing. Also, there was, he had his Blackwall Great X out with a redirect live, and I had both 5s out, and I was trying to play around raid, coming in the back, and I swung and he just goes redirect. I'm like, oh, great, so I lost the Dino Veemon for free. And then I go into, I make the fighter mode on top of my pile and bounce this guy, do 2 checks, and I check a Hades Force, and it's game over, like, it's over. Like, congrats, mate, you won that one. Well played. The next round, I lost against Red Wargreymon. He, honestly, the thing he did really well was he used his Hades Force very effectively to out my Tamers and just stopped my, like cut me off at the source. Good for him, he played well. What did I play after that? Round 6, I played Hunters, and that's the one I was saying I kind of got into like a quartz off. But I think he won it. I think he thought he was going to win the War of Attrition, but I do DNA Digivolution and I come in inactive, so it didn't really matter, and I had him checkmated 2 different ways at the end. And then my final round was against Setcon. It was D-Reaper Setcon. It was a cute list. I'd never seen anything like it. But I kind of just went into security control mode and just started burning all the security. He took game 2 off me because he just burned all my resources and had like 8 security. But game 1 and 3, I had him. But yeah, that's the wrap up of my list. Don't let anybody tell you this deck's bad. Play your pet deck. It's fun, I swear.
All right, yeah, thanks for the list, Liam. Everyone has been building this deck wrong. Thank you for finally letting people into the kitchen. Any other last shout-outs that you want to give out?
Yeah, so first of all, shout out to Mineki, my cat, always there for me, also in the Imperial drift. Shout out to my partner America, all the guys testing, specifically Tom, Marcio, Brad, H, M, Kai. We had a lot of late nights, a lot of fun testing, and honestly, I wouldn't be here without you guys. Shout out to all the fanboy crew and all the staff, that keep our store running. We came here and we conquered. Shout out to the Imperial Discord. Take notes. And yeah,
All right.
that's it.
Thanks, Liam.
Guys.